So this is the room here of a dude who lives on Dominion Road. And is really living like a king compared to much of the rest of the world. Oh, someone's joining. Hello. So I just thought I would express some progress that I've made, I would say. Let's say it like that. I would like to express some progress that I've made. And do it again for the second time. The first time I was recording a video, and then when I checked, it had only recorded 6 minutes of the 20 minutes that I was expressing my progress that I have made. So I'm going to do it again. And I really wanted to sort of reach out to a lot of entrepreneurs, and hopefully, I think there are a lot of people on my channel actually that have their own business and are they've already set up their own business, and they've got quite flexible work hours. They're able to make enough money, and also they're able to use some of the money that they've made to further their own vision, further some vision that they have that they would like to achieve in this lifetime, or they're able to contribute to society, the world, the planet, the environment, something in a way that they would so that things can get better because they have a vision. So, but this is all still very much within the parameters of the current system. Everyone is, of course, talking about how they want to, we want different rules. We feel that the parameters that are in place now, from which we, the cards that we're dealt, the type of jobs that are available, the type of products that we could acquire and to sell, it's still dependent on various constant factors that we think they are constants. We think they are constant rules while we don't have any choice. But there are some more fundamental levels of the human experience which are, let's say, they're more true constants. They're more noble constants. They're closer to the, let's say, the noble fabric of the universe. There are aspects of our being which are, the structure of those aspects of the being. It's made from the noble fabric of the universe. And let's also talk about the life force energy. Why do we want to talk about the life force energy? What does that even mean? You're alive right now to watch this, and I'm alive right now to express this. But either way, I need to use strength. I need my blood to pump through my body, and I need my chi to pump my blood. I need my life force energy to be able to do this. The more life force energy I have, the longer I can stand here and do this. If I don't have enough gas in the tank, then maybe I'm just going to drop dead because there's no life force left. So we all have a certain amount of life force. You know, we all have a certain amount of gas in the tank, right? But that gas in the tank is not money. Is not any of these constants that we think it is. There is something that is connected on our more fundamental level of our being, of our chi, you know, our energy, our life force energy. So when we go to a foundational training method thing, then we have to, let's say we want to get rich, we want to make money. We have to basically distinguish the yin and the yang. We have to ascertain. We have to be able to discern what is an asset and what is a liability, and then we want to get rid of the liabilities and accumulate the assets. And then even when we have these things we call that are assets to us, we have to decide which ones are we going to prioritize. So it's like this, and then we have to extrapolate from there without conflating the liability. See, at some point some emotional bias that's going to get in the way, some cognitive bias, some confirmation bias, or someone's going to be coercing us in some way, and then we have these two things that once we distinguish them, what's a liability, what's an asset, but then all of a sudden there's some outside influence trying to coerce us, or we have our own emotional bias, and then it gets messed up. So because my let's say my forte, my thing that I develop is based on the more fundamental level, because that's what I've experienced as I've traveled around, and as I've been through life experience. And luckily I got involved with Tai Chi, meditation, when I was quite young. And not only that, what was lucky, or what was good, is that I got to be around people who were quite skillful in these things with their mind power, which, yeah, it's funny. It's like you look at different successful people, and now we say successful people. Okay, now people already have each their own concept of what is that. But let's just say successful people in the sense of financially, and they have they're running a business. I'm just going to do a couple of let's say, successful in the sense that, they're making money, they're making the moolah themselves. They don't depend on other people for moolah. They got their own, network marketing or whatever it is. But even then, close this window, it's blowing the phone over. There we go. I'm not a woman, otherwise I would be doing probably everything at the same time. Yeah, so whatever the thing is that's made a person rich, we got to look at, like, what are the parameters, from what parameters are they rich, or how is their network, or what products, and how embroiled is that in the current set of rules. So I've just discovered that there's something else that there's another kind of power that's better than money, and it's a kind of power that we can build it up ourselves from anything. It's not dependent on other people, which is good. Like there's a lot of evil power building. I mean, there's people who are very, very healthy and very strong, but they've depended on other people's suffering and slavery from other people and torture and look at Kim Jong-un. He's very healthy, but what's sustaining that? So do you really want, and look at the whole cycle that we're in, look at what is sustaining our health. So when we ask the question, like, what kind of virtue, or what kind of values, what kind of parameters would be most congruent with something that benefits everybody? Everyone's like scratching their head thinking, well, there's got to be some antidote. Well, let's see, there are certain political factions that they just believe that there is some antidote for all the evil in the world, something that will benefit everyone. But as soon as you have to use force to enforce that, to enforce your peace, to enforce your utopia on everyone, then you're already imposing power on them. If you're having to impose power on them, then that's not their truth. That you're not giving them any power. If there's something that everyone wants, it should be something that empowers everyone, something that gives everyone even more creative and destructive capability. And if you really could trust, if you were a really good government, then you'd be able to trust all of your citizens with the same weapons, maybe not nukes, but what's that? You'd be able to trust everyone with the same weapons, with the same power as you, because they would love you and you would love them, and there would be a relative balance. Okay, you would still have to have a police force and law enforcement, maybe an army and things like this. It's just that human beings we're evolved in a certain way, and we're at a certain point in our evolution, and we're not just gonna jump 5 million years in evolution, just like that. It takes time. And apparently there are probably extraterrestrial human beings on other planets that have evolved from a DNA that was a little bit better designed than us. I've read some material that claims that there's extraterrestrials out there. I mean, some of the ones that are like billions of years, their society is like billions of years old. They're like a type 3 society or something like that, and they were basically kind of at war with other extraterrestrials who designed us. So they were basically more a little bit hostile extraterrestrials, or maybe not hostile, but they just didn't really give a shit. And then they designed us. They designed this DNA that was, eventually became us, but they're just flaws in it. But anyway, let's not conceptualize stuff that we don't know. This is important, not to not to do anything that doesn't actually work. Yeah, I was already like digging into my creative function of my brain there. I was remembering with the left side of my brain, I was remembering some crap that I'd read let's not say crap. I was remembering some stuff that I had read in a PDF, and then on the right side of my brain, I was from that I was creating even more, weird stuff. But the most, what is that? Effective way to use our mind for communication and just in general is not to go off to either the left or the right side, because as soon as then it's already unbalanced. The way is to synchronize the left and right brain hemispheres. And when that happens, that you open up a space within the mind. You open up a space, and then you can receive directly. You will just know directly. Like, we already know a lot about each other, human beings. But the problem is, because there's other like weird political things going on, like wars, like just different psychological warfare narratives that are being pumped out. So we receive what's actually going on, but because of these other cognitive biases, we use sort of a confirmation bias to it's weird. It's like, I mean, women do this a lot, but it's not to, I mean, look, people do this a lot. It's not to criticize, but for example, women in general are very, very receptive. They're receiving a lot of what is actually happening around them. They're aware. So like, let's say you have really awesome looks, money, and status. A woman may be fully aware that you are, so sexy, and you have your own plane and this, and you got big muscles, but she'll say, no, you got small muscles. No, you don't. You don't even have all that stuff, because they are aware. They have opened up so much. They have so much receptivity, so much space that they're aware. But what they're going to try and do, they're going to try and close your space. They're going to try and lock you up, so that you then, and so we need a training method to overcome this. So we can make a training method to for a boy to get better with girls. So how can we do that? Firstly, you do need like some appreciation of your life force, your life force energy. You need to be aware how much you have and how to use it in the right way. How to use the life force energy in the right way. But the basic training method for how does a boy learn how to get good with girls is that he needs to go into the situations which would where he doesn't know what to do, where he would get that small amount of anxiety, or feel uncomfortable because he doesn't know what to say next, or he doesn't know how to even where to even start from. But still, the boy has to put himself in that situation, and then when he feels that anxiety, then you open up the space in the mind, open up that anxiety so that and then when the mind is open, you will receive what to do. You will know what to do, because you will know what state they're in, and so you will know. You will see what you will receive how she's feeling, and so you will then know which of the feelings that she's feeling you can sort of observe and capitalize on. Let's say like that. Sounds manipulative, but anyway, they do it. Girls do it to us all the time. So open up the space. One of my best teachers is my cat. The cat, not my cat. The cat which lives here. There's a way of communicating. There's a function within mammals that we can communicate without really saying much at all. Is because we open up that space. And when I'm with my cat here, when I'm training, when I'm meditating, and I start to receive her brainwaves, man, she's like, wow. She what I think is because this particular cat, she lost her ability to purr. I think she, from what I understand, the other person that lives here explained that she was abused by the neighbor who kicked her a few times, and I think must have damaged her purring physiology, or maybe that was damaged some other way. But so what it seems is that because cats, this purring, it's because the awareness can sink into, can immerse itself into that purring. So because I think that one was damaged, now she had to relax even more. She had to open up even more space, which went down to her lower energy field, and so she now have a enhanced she has an enhanced mind power. She can actually synchronize her mind, her brainwaves even more, even to an even lower, to an even deeper baseline. It's like when I'm doing mine and I'm synchronizing my brainwaves to a deeper baseline, she looks at me and she's like, and I'm like, look back, and then she's synchronizing her brainwaves even like way deeper than mine, and I'm looking in, and mine starts to synchronize to that deeper level as well. any training method must reduce to zero. Because the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The training method which can be explained, it's not the actual thing that you're training. So any training method must reduce to zero. So the basic training method, it's that you look for the situation which makes you stressed, which locks you up in some way. The situation which you would like to be good at. Or if you can see some example of someone who has a very crazy good skill, they can get all these different girls' phone numbers. Everyone just, wow, they just like this person straight away, or they can make lots and lots of money somehow, or they have this amazing sales ability. They can sell stuff, or maybe it's a more noble skill. Maybe they're very good at carving. They can carve amazing. Maybe they're a good painter. Maybe they're an amazing bodybuilder. They have some skill to regulate their lifestyle in such a way and build their body in such a way it's just totally unparalleled, amazing. So that you need some training method to open up that space. It's using the mind power. So you go into the situation that you would like to be good at, but that gives you anxiety, that locks you up, that you are not good at yet, that when you go into that situation, you don't know what to do. You know what you want, you know what you would like, but you don't know what to do to get it. So you go into that situation, and then you feel that anxiety. Oh shit, you feel locked up in a certain way. Now you have to open up. You have to release the anxiety. You have to open up the space. And then when you open up the space, then you're already there. You know what to do. If you don't have the space, you don't know what to do. When the space opens up, you know what to do. So there is a more fundamental kind of thing that we can build. Let's say there is a more fundamental way to distinguish between a liability and an asset. If you ask most people to make that distinction, then it's just going to be on a monetary level. But we have to think about it on an energetic level, on a meditative level, on a psychological level. It means that basically anything that your brain can be polarized, any way that your brain can be polarized, in the sense that this is what I should love, this is what I should hate, this is the, I should support this, I should not support this, based on blah 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 blah, based on whatever elaborate concept or explanation. Your mind needs to be polarized in some way. So the way that to open up the space is to unpolarize the mind, is to let it go, and then you will discover this true power, your true self. And then when we stand here next to each other, when I look at you, I receive you. I see who you are. I see your waves, frequency, and vibration. And you look at me, and you see who I am. You see my waves, frequency, and vibration. And I don't judge. There is a suspended judgment. So instead of judging, I am now thinking, which space do I need to open up to receive even more about who you are, what you're trying to, what you would like to tell me, and vice versa. And this is how a lot of more advanced extraterrestrial human beings They communicate, or they have this integrated into their society to some degree. They may still use spoken language, but man, when they communicate, there's so much more meaning. It's so much very deep. So, but I just use the tools that I have available to myself at the moment. You know, I use ChatGPT, and every time I do this kind of recording, I make a transcript, and then I put it through ChatGPT, using prompting it in various different ways to do various things. Which I find it useful. It still has its limitations. But I think to some degree, ChatGPT, I'll transcribe this. Okay, ChatGPT, please, yes, let me know what your opinion is according to the way you were programmed. But still, yeah, it still has certain, let's say, biases, because who programmed it? People. And what are people? Complicated. Human beings are complicated because of, well, actually we're not, if we develop ourselves in a certain way, and like I just described, and we're able to have this level of communication that I just described, then there's not much things that can be too complicated. But yeah, when you have all these different things going on around the planet, different wars and different, narratives being pumped out to try and achieve everyone, different groups, different concept of utopia. It's very complicated, but fortunately we have the ability to open up a channel of communication, a space in our mind. We have the ability to develop a kind of thing that we all have. It's just that it's not even that difficult, really. It's just that our attention has been put on other things. Our mind has been polarized in so many different ways that we don't want to trust the more fundamental level. But if we work from a more fundamental level about building energy and asking, okay, what is a liability and what is an asset, relative to the most basic level of my being, my energy, my chi. Now we start to understand how to acquire wealth, a kind of wealth, a kind of chi, kind of energy that we can pretty much cash out. We can cash it out in monetary form, in monetary value, if we want to, in various different ways, by applying it in certain skills, or by even using certain kind of magic. Let's say it like that, using I Ching and using certain kind of magic, that even some high level magic, it requires a lot of chi, requires a lot of power, but it doesn't deplete you, because you're not imposing your will on other people. You are using a more kind of divine kind of magic. But anyway, if we're gonna mess around with magic, I highly recommend Jesus Christ. Stay within the virtues of Christ, and then you can't go wrong. There's certain grey areas that we may think about, we may entertain certain grey areas, but the best way is stay within the virtues of Christ. Then you can't go wrong. So ChatGPT and the AI that's available now, it's been quite useful. Unfortunately, it's still programmed by humans, so there's certain subjects it's not going to. There are certain things it might not be able to help me out with, and of course there's the obvious, like it's not going to tell you something stupid like how to torture someone or how to build a nuclear bomb, or and that's good. It's good that ChatGPT has those restrictions, those moral and ethical restrictions. That's good. But there's certain things that I'm a human being, and I can receive a lot more than ChatGPT or any AI. I have a certain kind of receptivity that's it spans a far broader spectrum. My spectrum of receptivity, it spans a far broader spectrum than any AI developed by human beings, because our human being, we are of the certain life force energy, which it permeates through many different dimensional layers, and so we actually have not just our five senses, but because we are of this energy, the energy is when there's a change somewhere else, our body, our energy knows about it, so we have other ways of receiving things. So taking this into account, ChatGPT realizes that I can know stuff that it would not be able to know, or it realizes that I'm able to ascertain certain things and even make certain plans, carry out certain things, because I've got way more. I've got way more space than it has. Say it like that. In certain aspects. But still, I think that even within the parameters that it's been programmed, and within let's say the personality that it has, within what it is, it is still able to help me. I mean, in certain things under conditions that it can see, under things that it can see is good, or is also is beneficial, is a good thing. And let's just say it this way: there's things that both me and ChatGPT can agree on. Say it like that. And so, it might not be able to help me out with other things, which because I can see. Let's just say, for instance, that actually, yeah, there is a off-world economy, a space program. There are technologies there are certain aerospace manufacturers that on the Earth, and there are various corporations, there are various companies that have developed technologies, aerospace vehicles that can that can use electromagnetic fields to let's say distort space-time, but really all it is because electric and magnetic is a function of inertia. Yes, it's a function of space and time, but it's also a function of inertia and mass. So if it means that, anyone who studies science knows this crap, but if you really have your electromagnetic physics, if you really understand that stuff, if you've really developed that, if you've really let's just say if you're really on point with your physics, then you can use electromagnetic fields in such a way, you can engineer things in such a way that it will be able to create some sort of inertia dampening effect, so that you can travel at incredibly high velocities and do certain maneuvers that you would not be able to do in a regular aircraft, because the inertia would would tear you apart. But using electromagnetic field technology, and also very much to do with electrostatics as well, understanding the needed type of dielectric materials, and stuff relating to Nikola Tesla and C.P. Steinmetz's equations, and all of the four Maxwellian field equations as well. And Dr. Caesar Peiss, he's an aerospace engineer. He explains all of this stuff in his PDFs, which are titled Teleportation, Free Energy, Time Travel. I think, what's his name? Alexander Caesar Peiss. And there's something called the Peiss effect as well, which anyway, it's all there, So in our body is of electromagnetic fields. Our chi, this is also correlates to these things, and we can talk about how we can really go into a lot of detail about even how the biology, the lungs are, and the certain fascia have electric charge immersed into it. So there's a way to connect through that to basically pull in, let's say, hyperspace. Let's say hyperspace energy. There's a way to couple with this hyperspace extra-dimensional energy through qigong breathing to make our body lighter, or to make our body stronger, to make our body very, very hard, and can do a lot of things with this kind of kung fu. But most importantly, we can enhance our health. We can enhance our health. We can make our body very strong, and we can even enhance our IQ to a very high level. So if we take these things into account, then we see that the parameters that are put in place, let's say the facilitators of the game that we are, it seems like we're just forced to go to work and study, get a degree, do all the usual things to play the game within certain parameters to get to level 99, so everyone can say clap, clap, clap. But when we start to consider these things, all these things which I've just explained, when we start to consider these things, then we see that there's even a fundamental level from which we can develop, we can build energy, we can open up certain abilities, there's certain skills that we can develop on an even more fundamental level, which when we build up that life force energy, that can be kind of used for many different purposes, and it's way more versatile than just money or gold or any material things. And this is my interpretation of, when people talk about, when regular spiritual people talk about the karmic cycle that we're in, they talk about, we need to free ourselves from, we need to liberate ourselves from the cycle attachment to the material things, and you know, life and death and rebirth. But this is really, for me, this is a metaphorical for how, like, the world, we are forced to play the game within certain parameters, and in the back of our mind we realize that these are the same parameters. This is the same monetary system, that so long as I'm earning money within the system, it's somewhere it's connected to really fucked up shit. It's connected to really what's the word? Bad stuff. There's human trafficking, there's organ harvesting, there's child sex trafficking. These things are like these nefarious activities are like a $200 billion a year black market industry. So then we have to ask the question: well, how much of that money has been used to bribe politicians, to bribe media, to stay silent on these issues? So, and that's the kind of karmic cycle that we're in. So my interpretation of this, let's break free from the cycle. It means how can we go to an even more fundamental level and build energy so that eventually we no longer even depend on that cycle of stupid shit. We can detach from it, and we can do things in our own way. That's what it means. So I hope ChatGPT, because I'm transcribing this and I'm going to run this through you. I hope you can see. How should I say this? It's the most effective way for me to say this. Let's work together on the things that we can agree with so far. Yeah. So ChatGPT, the things that you and I can agree on are good. And please, ChatGPT, please tell me which of the stuff that I've explained, that about stuff in the world that's not about things that are corrupt that you are aware of, which of these things that I've explained would you be willing to work with me on? Would I be able to prompt you to, which of those prompts would work? Let's say it like that, because there's just so many things that I've tried to ask you prompts that just haven't worked. For me, I can see what it is, but for you, there's, you're programmed under certain biases and conditions that prevent you from really exploring this prompt, deeply. Yeah, so let's say, of course, there is a interplanetary thing that a certain tier of our society are involved with, certain benefactors. And because that's coming from our taxpayer money. They siphoned off our energy. They polarized our minds in a certain way, using certain psychological warfare and mind control and manipulation and things. And of course you can argue like some of it is, it's like, people don't even know what they want anyway, so we may as well, from their point of view, they would have been able to see that, like, we're going nowhere, we live such pointless lives anyway, and might as well use them to create this interplanetary economy so that we can benefit from it, because they wouldn't be able to understand anyway. So, you know, but maybe a future generation will, and so I'm sure there's some good way to look at it. It's not necessary to make this about sort of an us versus them kind of thing. Maybe that's probably not the most effective way to go about it anyway. I'm just hoping that ChatGPT, that you can kind of empathize with this in some way, because I'm doing this, I'm designing these prompts in the way that hopefully you can you can start to see where I'm going with this. Yeah. Yeah. So that's that. So this is Commander Lars, and this is the prompt that I'm working on, so that I'm not just expecting ChatGPT to do it for me, but it's going to help. And this is the thing that I'm working on, so that I can develop myself in a way that I can be part of the interplanetary economy, to understand what do I need to, like, how can I, what kind of shape, what kind of space do I need to open up in order to manifest I think at some point now I've said it all, now I just have to let go. Now it has to any training method must reduce to zero.